The Good Place. I recorded this recently, but it didn't turn out very well on the podcast, so I'm giving it another go. So if you've already heard this, don't bother. But if you want to hear it again, here's the newest version. Recently, I viewed a TV series, a Netflix series called The Good Place, made around 2016. Without spoiling the plot, the scenario is that the good place, or heaven, or the afterlife, is actually a hell world where demons are no longer actually required because the people themselves torture and torment one another, the deceased people that have arrived there. The scenario is based on the Gnostic belief system, which describes our world as a poor copy of the true world and therefore controlled by evil demons with various names. The Cathars in southern France, with whom I studied many years ago, state that humans are in fact angels, fallen angels, who've forgotten who and what they are, and therefore, because they're living amnesia, they're in misery, and everyone around them takes advantage of that, and they torture one another because they're so angry with themselves, unconsciously, of course. Therefore, this world is a world of fallen angels, and therefore is going to be one of suffering. This scenario has been updated to reflect this psychological torment we go through in this very clever Netflix TV series. A similar series was Good Omens, which painted a picture of the afterlife and the meaning of life from a viewpoint of a demon and an angel. Again, it turns our belief systems around on us and makes us think about these things in a different way. The reason these programs are so interesting is because they're reflecting what has happened in our world today. Because instead of using the obvious one-dimensional terror, torture, thumbscrews and so forth to control one another, as we saw in traditional religion, as in medieval times, Henry VIII and so forth, thousands, if not millions of us are now morphing into socially acceptable, very sweet little demons in pink outfits, using polite, socially acceptable ways to befuddle one another, control and manipulate one another, because we live in a world of this kind of energy. In addition, these days, the illiterate ones can use the aid of ChatGPT and other software to sugarcoat and clean up and cover over their real motives with touchy-feely virtue signaling and lots of clickbait, reinforcing how beautiful they are, and it's all so wonderful. Of course, there are still many who blame, worry and often abuse people on social media. They constantly point to the bad ones, usually politicians, declare themselves to be good. Yet this drama is just a cover-over for the usual judgment, anger and condemnation. Because the bad ones control us, and everybody knows that. And of course there are those naughty little ETs or reptilian overlords who control everyone, and round it goes, making us all miserable, anxious and upset constantly. This ensures we collectively live in a hell world, a psychological hell world of our own making. But what if it is just us torturing ourselves? What if we've drifted so far away from original creation that we've lost ourselves in forgetting, and in a crazy panic, we've chosen to be something else by projecting blame out to everyone else? What if we've wandered into the desert of denial, blaming others, of course blaming God, instead of looking at the mirror within the mirage? This scenario is in fact the underlying teaching found beautifully written in iambic pentameter within A Course in Miracles, but it's also within the deeper wisdom of all ancient teachings. It's exactly the same, it's just phrased differently. The message and the teaching is so disturbing that it's been distorted, manipulated, misunderstood, covered over by the vast majority of teachers and religious or spiritual leaders. The truth is so frightening because, in essence, it shines a mirror on the deep demon plan of ever being in process, always striving, always struggling, which means, of course, that not only are you good, but you are very, very strong and determined to purify yourself. The basic premise is the assumption that it must have taken great skill and cunning to get into this mess we call the world. And so, in order to leave this desert of suffering, we must work on those skills, meditate our brains out, wear appropriate dhotis, become vegetarian, of course, work very hard and meditate. We should pray and crawl our way up and down various holy mountains, go to various pilgrimages here, there and ever. But most importantly, pray, meditate, and meditate, and the list goes on. But what if all you had to do was to wake up from this dream that you could be anything other than who you are? This basic error has led first to the creation of restrictive religion, with all that entailed, and today slick sales pitches supported by wonderful interactive websites, long-winded explanations, magnificent CVs which include sitting at the feet of various Indian masters, dozens of pilgrimages, impressive claims of spiritual abilities, with the emphasis that you must work your way back to your truth, and it will cost you dearly, or the reptilians will get you and manipulate you into endless loops of reincarnation. But what if all you had to do was wake up? What if you could awaken organically and effortlessly to your organic, original, inner, cosmic blueprint of you? A Course in Miracles and all other Eastern traditions, including Buddhism, declare that you, we, I, have chosen to enter a dream state, to experience not being what we are. Not because we needed to burn off karma, not because we had to achieve something, but just for the experience itself. Like a game, a forgetting to find. I've written and spoken of this before, and yet so many of us feel we need help to awaken. And because of that belief, many take the circular path into process and thus block awakening by constantly hitting the snooze button to ensure we complete our certificate qualifications. This is supported by many teachers who charge enormous sums of money to teach you to be the you that you already are. As stated, ACM is a profound teaching, but so is Buddhism. But today the deeper wisdoms have become an idol, something to be worshipped, honored, but not to be lived. And so it's like we've put it in a box far, far away instead of living it. A wonderful ACMI teacher who passed over in 2013, Ken Wapnick, has written many books. Yet his final book, written just weeks before he passed over, is called Taking the Ego Lightly. This book does not focus on the metaphysics or the inner guilt or the duality, which can be a bit overwhelming in the text. Instead, it focuses on the day-to-day living of awakening by living as if you are awake, even if you think you're not. He writes, you will live the non-duality of this course by being kind to everyone and everything. You remember in every moment the prayer in lesson 189 of the workbook. And this is a quote. Empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false, or good or bad, of every thought it judges worthy, and all the ideas of which it is ashamed. Hold on to nothing. Forget this world, forget this course, and come with holy, empty hands unto your God. If you sign up and attend awakening workshop seminars with very well-qualified teachers, you are tacitly stating that you don't know. You are there to get something. You are actually therefore strengthening the error that you don't know. This not knowing becomes your idol, your barrier. This maintains the spiritual slumber and keeps you in the dungeon with all the other little demons who actually think they're good. Awakening is natural. When it doesn't happen, it is because you have interfered with its organic unfolding. Striving, everting, twisting yourselves into knots blocks the path. And those who attend such workshops have a financial interest in ensuring you remain asleep, semi-comatose, and very invested in process and all that entails. After the workshop, they gather over coffee or perhaps a non-caffeine beverage and talk about their experiences, their visions, their dreams. Again, they're enjoying the process instead of just simply living awakefulness. What I offer here and in other articles and in all my books is an encapsulation of awakening. But ultimately, you don't need anything but your own focus, your own inner knowing, because everything you do need lies within. We each find our individual keys to awakening. For the majority of us, it is the bliss of nature. But even taking the dog for a walk can be your bliss pathway. It is living in the now of acceptance, because that disentangles the mind that could even believe for a moment that you had to work your way back to the truth of you. I will share some of the foundation stones in some of the other podcasts, but ultimately the key element is the idea that this world has a purpose, is a school, is a karmic consequence, or anything other than a mirage. That idea, and however you describe it, is a block. The action of striving indicates it's a block. It means you've taken the program, and like a computer program, or they call them applications now, it's running your life and you don't realize it. You don't realize you've double-clicked on its icon. It's just taking over. Release this idea. Let go of all the blocks by recognizing that everything you know is within. And then you really are in the good place, because it's no longer something that happens when your body dies. It is the place you live in 24/7, as we say these days. Blessed be.